Okay, I think we are live. There is a 10-second lag, so we'll might have to just wait for some responses from the audience. If everybody can hear us, then please give us a heads up so that we don't end up in a situation where we are talking and nobody's listening to us. I think Kripali has commented, and thanks Kripali for joining in.
Yeah, I can see that. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Can any of you hear us loud and clear? There is no audio issues, video issues. Hopefully, uh,
Karan said go for it.
cool. Okay, very nice, amazing. So thank you guys for joining in, and I'm extremely excited to host this. This is probably the first live where I have not talked to the guest before
Right.
going live. So this is probably the same Google Meet talks that me and Dave have done several times, and we are just going live with the our conversations this time. So I'll just introduce him. I think everybody would know Dave. He's quite a celebrity on LinkedIn, and he has a YouTube channel. And yeah, I think he does a lot of other things. Also helps out people, and yeah, in sales, in breaking out into SaaS companies. So essentially, he's a senior BDR at Six Sense. Six Sense happens to be one of our technical partners. We have partnered with them to give account discovery and intent data. So yeah, and I have Dave with me today to talk about why he's such a great salesperson.
Hi.
Welcome, Dave.
Thank you
And
so
I'm
much.
going to crack these jokes all throughout this.
Absolutely. That's the best introduction I guess I got. But yeah, I'm super excited. This is my first live session, and I have got the opportunity to see a couple of factors live session, and those are really great, insightful sessions.
Yeah, is it like just you're saying so that I'm your host,
No,
or
I have genuinely, been on live sessions of factors for sure.
cool. Anyway, nice having you here, and yeah, like I always say that LinkedIn. I've never met Dave in my entire
Right.
life. We just connected over LinkedIn, and that was even before we were in talks with Six Sense for partnership or
Right. Right.
anything. There was no connection at all, except that we were working in a SaaS company. So
Right.
and we were writing on LinkedIn. So that's how we met, and we have had so many conversations offline, on chat. Whenever I have to when I was in sales, when I had to hire some people, I always used to go to them. I knew that he would have somebody who'll be there for a hire. So yeah, that's enough about us. Then we we'll go to the topic, and essentially we'll talk about how SaaS salespeople and how generally SaaS sales work. There are some things which are conventional in nature. There are some things which are n- not very mainstream, but has to become mainstream given that we are just living in that times where people are fed
Right.
up of some very common sales practices, and also as people who sell on a daily basis, how uh, they deal with rejections, and even times where you have so many deals flowing in, and then there will be a time where you have no deals flowing in. So all of that we'll speak. So I'll just turn up with the very first basic question, that is list building and research, right? Like that is the first thing that any salesperson does, anything that a sales manager also does. So
Mhm.
how do you identify the person that you're going to reach out for a demo call, or you have to sell your product?
Good question. So I feel list building is like one of the first and most effective and primary thing to do. And I've seen a lot of people, automate this stuff. But personally, if you talk about me, I love to build my list, kind of manually, you can say, still like old school. And the reason because when I'm building that list, no, I do my all my research on the prospects, on the accounts, so that when I am actually selling or cold calling, emailing, I don't have to go back to the account because that will break my flow. So I'll spend a good amount of time to research, all my prospects, accounts, and how will I build my list. So I'll just give you an example how I do it at Six Sense. So here again, Six Sense helps me to build the list, like because of the platform that it has to offer. And
Hmm.
I build a list based on triggering events. Now, what are triggering events? Let's suppose for Six Sense, I go after companies who are hiring SDRs, and
Right.
maybe they are using tech stack like Salesforce or like Salesloft. So I'll take these triggering events and then build a list of companies who falls under these triggering events. So it kinds of makes my life a lot easy because I know what to say, how to say, what to write in emails when I pitch to the prospects. So I move with my triggering events. Then also when I figure out which is the right people to target, so here is also a way to do that. Let's suppose if I'm reaching out to companies, so I reach out to companies mostly startups, SMBs, and sometimes mid market. So when it goes to like mid market and enterprise, you'll have
Hmm.
different teams, right? You'll have enterprise teams, you will have teams based on geographies. So you have to understand, let's suppose I am reaching out to companies because they are hiring SDS in the UK market. So I'll obviously reach out to the SDM manager that is present in the UK, not in the US. So you have to be very
Right.
mindful for these little things also, because if you don't take these things into consideration, what will happen? You might write the best email, you might do the best cold call, but that won't be relevant to your prospects. So I take good amount of time to build those lists, target the right people. Maybe I want to target just the managers, not the VPs, because again their priorities will be very different. Even though maybe with the same triggering event, their priorities will be very different. So above the line prospect, below the line prospect, all those stuff I'll do. I'll make sure my list is 100% relevant to the prospect I'm reaching out to, and that's
Hmm.
how I start my work when I do outbound prospecting.
Right, right. So, again, very basic question. How much time do you actually spend on this? Do you do this weekly or daily, or how?
Mostly at the start of the week, Monday. Like it will be
Hmm.
my like when I start my work, the first thing I do is like sit like good 1 hour, build a list, for
Hmm.
different triggering events. And as I move down the week, like every day I put people in that sequence or in that
Hmm.
list. You can see that list
Okay.
basically. So Monday will be the time when I'll spend most of my time on the list building stuff. And then on the regular days, I'll just find a few companies, add more people in my sequence so that it goes out.
Right. You used the term triggering events, right? So what do you mean by that? Uh,
So triggering
very
events is, yeah.
yeah.
I'll tell you what triggering events is. Basically, these are events that you get to know out, like sitting outside,
Hmm.
what is happening in a company, and that triggers you to reach out to this company. So
Hmm.
when we do outbound, the basic or the first question that a prospect asks, like, who are you and why are you calling me? So that we answer the why.
Yeah.
That why
Yeah.
I'm calling you.
You're like that. He's like that meme. Who are you? Yeah.
Exactly. Well, they will always think, hey, who is this person calling me out of the blue, and why is
Nobody.
this
Yeah.
person calling me right now? So I'll tell you, I'm from this company. This is my name, and this is the reason I'm calling you. So
Yeah.
the reason is basically the triggering events.
That's a great thing. Like you can pick up these trigger events inside Six Sense, and even generally through
Yeah,
if you're active in communities or all of that. So being this
absolutely.
aware mentally is also one thing. Um, uh, now coming to the part where how you reach out, right? Okay, before we go to the question, one thing I wanted to talk to the audience is that we'll take questions towards the end, so
Right.
we'll talk less. And I think Harsh had a lot of questions. He
It's got
warned
share
us
button.
on. I don't know. I can't see who's there. Like it's
Yeah,
not like YouTube where you can see who's there. So yeah, he has a lot of questions. He has warned us, so we'll take his
yeah.
questions
To be
towards the end.
prepared. Yeah.
Now it's Priyanka's turn to ask questions.
Right.
Yeah. So now coming to how you reach out to this list that you make, right? Of course,
Mm.
there is email, like email. Then there is cold calling, and these days there is a new thing. I mean, I won't say new thing, but yeah, it's just not how traditionally salespeople work. Is LinkedIn outreach and social selling, right? So how
Right.
is your process? How does your process look like?
I'll add another channel to this, that is community.
Yeah.
So I reach out
Hmm.
to people through Slack communities, sometimes through WhatsApp communities. So I love LinkedIn. I have booked, I mean, most of my meetings through LinkedIn. Maybe
Hmm.
because I'm building a personal brand, that is a plus point for me. But if you talk about like, I use all the channels for outbound. I feel you should use all the channels. Like, even even if you can use SMS, do that. Because it's very hard to get hold of your prospects, and if you don't use all the channel that is there at your end, you will be at loss. But yeah, again, you should make sure that you're not spamming your prospects, and those all those channels should have a meaning to it. Like your email, the way you're reaching out to prospects on email should be different from LinkedIn DM, should be different from cold call. And you
Yeah.
should know that, okay, my primary channel can be email or cold call, but LinkedIn, Slack communities are like channels that is helping me to nudge these prospects and say, hey, I am there, prospecting you, or maybe I've sent you an email, can you just look into it, something like that. So there should be
Yeah.
two or one or two primary channel, and rest of the channels can be there to assist you, basically.
Right, right. Got it. So now let's go to the channels itself, right? We'll go one by one. There is email, then there's cold call, then there is LinkedIn outreach, and other community
Yeah.
outreach, right? So first is, how do you craft compelling emails
Mhm.
for your prospect? I'm sure that I mean, sure, there is personalization, right? Everybody knows that. But what do
Yeah.
you add to it as a very successful salesperson?
Yeah. So before writing an email, I want to think from the point of my prospect, that for me it's like one email, for that
Hmm.
prospect like one of that thousand emails, right? So I want to
Yeah.
be so I want to be very to the point, short, like talking about why I'm reaching out. And maybe if I can write the email on, like, on a basic 50 to 60 words, very simple English, no jargon words, even though I know that that person may understand the jargon words, but understand they are not reading your email, they're just skimming through all this email that you're writing. So that is my first mindset. Now, my framework, it's a pretty famous framework. I guess you have heard about this framework. It is there on LinkedIn. I learned this from the founder of Lavender, that his name is Will Aldred. So the framework
Yeah.
looks something like this: observation, problem tied to the observation, solution
Hmm.
that you're offering, then an interest-based CTA. Just four steps. That's it. So observation is again a triggering event, like why I'm
Yeah.
reaching out to this account.
Yeah.
Then a
Yeah.
problem maybe what happens when someone, let's suppose the triggering event is hiring HDRs. So what
Hmm.
happens in a company, or what a company faces problem when they start looking for a HDR hiring. They want to ramp their HDR, they want their HDR to get high intent accounts. So these are kind of problems they seek into, like they fell into, and they want to seek their answers. So that is the problem tied to the observation, and solution is like how Six Sense can help there. Maybe provide one or two value proof, or maybe one or two social proofs to build credibility, and then interest based CTA. Now, what is an interest based CTA? It's like
Hmm.
not asking for a time. Like asking for a time is like proposing someone for marriage on a first date. Don't do
Yeah.
that. So asking for like interest based CTA is like, is
That
it
is a
worth
great analogy. Seems
right?
very relatable.
Yeah. So one of my favorite right now working CTA is like, can I send you a 1 minute video? Like it's a very easy, like yes or no. Like send me. If I like it, I'll move forward. If I don't like it, I'll say no to you. And for me, it is very
Yeah.
easy to figure out who is this prospect giving me replies and all those stuff. So right now, I use this CTA called. Can I show you a 1 minute video? How can we solve XYZ? Or can I show you a 1 minute video how Six Sense can do this for you? And yeah,
It's
this actually helps.
basically building relationships, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like starting the conversation. Also on your first email, it's very important that your email domain health doesn't go at, like, risk. So getting more
Hmm.
replies on your first email, it actually helps your domain health ultimately, which will help your deliverability and all those stuff.
Right, right, right. Absolutely. So, what we have seen in general is that the personalization is, oh, I observed you are an SDR at Six Sense.
That's that's like
So,
such a low effort personalization. Like I observe that you are like senior sales leader at XY. I mean, what kind of personalization? Like you should put some thoughts on yours. Like working as a senior leader at this company, I feel you might be facing. It's something that you should provide your point of view. And
yeah.
I have got this kind of personalization always. Like I see that you're a senior BD at Six Sense. I'm also a senior BD at XYZ. What is this?
Cool, cool. No, so Chanchal has asked one thing just because it's related. I'm taking it now.
Yeah.
What are your top five channels that you can share?
Yeah, good question, Chanchal. My top five would be, like I started my career prospecting on LinkedIn when I had no idea how to prospect on LinkedIn, honestly. But I got better on that channel. So LinkedIn, email, community, because on communities you get very high and hot intent prospects. So
Hmm.
community and cold call, I would pick the fourth one, because one of the reason, uh, like I feel like cold calls are great if you can do it in a great way, but not everyone is very I mean acceptance of getting cold calls. Like you get rejections, and people hang up on your face and all the stuff. So for that, I do cold calls, and I obviously do cold calls. If it needed, I'll also do it on first. But if you give me a chance, I'll go in this way: LinkedIn, email, community, then cold call.
Got it. Understood. Cool. So now we can move on to the next question that I have. Now, yeah,
Yeah.
from the on the cold call side only. like you said, a lot of people are extremely good at cold calling, right? But one thing with cold calls is that there is a pre anxiety where you're
Too
like,
much.
what will I say, right?
Yeah.
And then there is a post anxiety. If you get rejected, you're totally
Yeah.
totally crestfallen, and again that cycle repeats, right? You don't want to go for the next thing. You said that, you know what, I'll just text them on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
or I'll just email. Cold calling and all, I can't take it. This is bad for me. So yeah, how do you overcome that?
So it took me a lot of time to overcome this, because I had to sit, and before my cold call sessions, I should literally sit and think. okay, if I do this like this, and if something like this happens, what that person will think. And then I had my, like, I spoke with my manager, I spoke with a lot of people who had
Hmm.
who were there in the industry for a long time, and I got one answer that, see, for you, it is important because you are doing those cold calls, you will remember those cold calls. For that person, it doesn't matter. It's like one of those, 100 cold calls they get, they won't remember your name, what you have done, if you have done anything, uh, wrong or something, like you messed up your pitch, they won't remember. You can cold call them again, like 2 days later, and it will be same. So that mindset shift, that no one is thinking about you, no one cares about you. So
Hmm.
that helped me a lot. So right now,
Hmm.
whenever I do my cold calls, I have this one mindset that I'll do my best. I'll control what I can control from my end. That is dialing, and whenever
Hmm.
someone picks up, I'll be at my best, like pitching them or asking them the right questions. If they don't have time, if they don't have interest, if they hang up on my face, these are all things that I can control. It won't bother me. And
Yeah.
also, it's I know it's very easy to say right now, but yeah, I have been through that process. Another thing, it might sound silly, but initially when I started doing cold calls, I
Hmm.
used to reward myself. Now, how do I just to do that? Let's suppose I should tell myself that today I'll do, let's say, 30 cold calls. 30 calls I'll dial, and if I complete those things, I'll reward myself after those cold calls, anything.
Hmm.
So
Right. Right.
that's how it helps me to go through this session of cold calling, and later if I complete that, I know some reward is waiting for me. Those are initial days, how you start and you control your anxiety, all this stuff. Right now, after doing this for 2 years, more than 2 years, I feel I just go and do my cold calls and all those stuff.
Right, right, right. That's that's great actually, and generally turning objections into opportunities gracefully.
Yeah,
It's a skill, which
it is
only comes through you know
practice, I think.
practice. Yeah, practice and a sense of internalized confidence, right? Like it's okay if I don't get into this. If I don't get this person on a demo, I'll
Mhm.
move on. I'll get someone else. So
Exactly.
yeah, and I talked to Saurabh from Sales Robot, right? Like the one
Mhm.
where they have the basically sales for LinkedIn, right? They automate everything
Right.
and all of that for LinkedIn. He told me very frankly that to be good at sales, you need to be shameless. That is that is the
Absolutely.
first requirement to be in sales and to be actually successful in sales. So yeah, that's actually a great advice. One more thing I'd also like to add to your rejections and cold call stuff, right? Some people actually freeze when they call the prospect,
Yeah.
right? And by some people, it's me. So I'm telling my own story. So
Yeah.
I think it's a part of the problem, right? People don't get that confidence because they've been rejected so many times. There is no way they'll think that today I'll maybe get the person
Right.
to speak, but that's not the case, right? Like doesn't matter five people rejected you yesterday, that doesn't mean you'll not get another five people to actually talk to you today. So how do you, again, another I'm saying that, how do you keep yourself sane while all of these happens?
Yeah, so I feel what you do after your work, like what
Hmm.
habits you have after work is very important if you're in sales. For me, I would say my fitness routine, my meditation, and spending time with my family after work has helped me. Because as you see,
Hmm.
rejections are bound to happen in sales. Like you can be the greatest salesperson in the world and get rejected, and it is bound to happen, and it is not in your control. So
Yeah.
to keep yourself sane, I think and I understand, like we get anxiety when we don't hit our targets. We get anxiety
Hmm.
when we see that we lose one of our biggest deals maybe. And but these things sometimes we can't control, right? So I feel it's very important that you have a set of habits that you implement outside your work. And it is
Yeah.
very important to have uh, one being good sleep. I'm telling this to myself. One being good sleep. And Apart from that, during like in your work, what you can do, one of the best thing is practice. If you see good athletes, I'm talking about like top athletes like Virat Kohli, let's say Messi, Ronaldo. They practice insanely. Like
Yeah.
I've heard about Ronaldo. He goes to the uh, ground first and leaves at the last. So the amount of practice he does at that age right now, and he's the best. We all know he's the best
Yeah.
athlete, best footballer. So if you want to be the best salesperson, like you need to do a lot of practice. You need to do a lot of mock cold calls, mock need to do a lot of mock DMs. If you need to have those skills at your end, because if you do those stuff, you will, when you actually go onto the pitch or actually go do those calls in real life, you will think, okay, I've done this 100 times with my manager or with my colleagues. I can pull this
Hmm.
off. Have that confidence out of those practice. And I feel
Yeah.
practice and coaching is very important. Like even right now, I actually take my weekends to learn new stuff, like all these AIs in sales coming up. I learn all this stuff because even though I have got some kind of experience, I know I need to implement new stuff, because in sales something or the other changes every day. Right now, what is a new cold call opener, it will become like it wouldn't be new, let's say in next quarter or next 3 4 months, next year also. It will be something that everyone is using, and that opener is now, it's not something that is unique. Now you have to implement something new opener or something a new framework about emails. So you have to implement, and you have to like take yourself to the next level every time as a salesperson.
Right, right, right. Absolutely. I think one more thing to add to your thing is that even though sales is a very taxing job, and nobody can teach you sales apart
Yeah,
from yourself. And then again, it comes through experience and all. It's an ever changing field, right? It's very
ever change.
dynamic. Yeah, and that's why people stick to it, right? If you are passionate about it, yeah, it's a very interesting field to be
And
in.
rewarding.
Yeah, yeah, and very rewarding. That's true.
Rewarding.
That's true. Yeah. So we have got a lot of questions
Yeah.
already. So I'll just ask one question,
Yeah.
and then I'll wrap it up from my side. Again, so one last question is that how have you generated a considerable and significant amount of deals from your social activity that you do, and not outreach, just inbound, right? Like, so organic
Mhm.
social, as we call it in factors. Have you done that for yourself
It
significantly?
is, I won't say it is significantly, but it is
Hmm.
something that I am seeing in the recent past. Like I've been
Hmm.
creating content for now 1.5 years now with consistent efforts. Right now, what I see, people come to my DM and say, "Hey, I want a six sense demo," and that's kind of outbound for me, because
Yeah,
like even though like they are coming to me, but in my CRM, it's outbound, right?
of course.
These are
Yeah.
happening because of my visibility on LinkedIn, of the content I put. And if you go on on my LinkedIn, you will not see that I have put anything about Six Sense. Like I'm not selling Six Sense. I'm talking
Hmm.
about my experience, my journey, telling what is helping me in my sales career, any advice that is helping me, and I'm actually trying to help people. And through those efforts, people are coming to my profile, which is kind of a landing page, and they're seeing, okay, like he works at Six and does XYZ, and they think, okay, this is something we need. And that's how I am, like in past 3 months, I think in every month I've got at least 2 to 3 people, prospects, coming to my DM and saying we need a Six Sense demo. And that helps me to overachieve. These little
Hmm.
things actually helps me to overachieve every time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. I
I
think.
won't say that is significant in
Hmm.
my deals, but this, I feel this is like right now a stepping stone, like that, having a personal brand, but also again aligning your personal brand with your prospect or like your product audience. If it's matching, then it's like great combination.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. And it took you a lot of time to get that result, right? Even though
Right,
if you say it's not significant, 2 to 3 bonus points is still a lot. So
right.
yeah, that's one. So we at Factors look at it as inbound because
Hmm.
direct traffic is, and within that we have a drop down in our landing page saying where did they hear about us. So we treat LinkedIn as an inbound channel, right? So and
Right.
our SDRs do their other stuff. Because at one moment we were totally focused on inbound, so we thought that this can be a channel to do that. It took
Hmm.
a lot of time actually.
It takes
And one
organic
more thing,
time.
yeah, and one more thing that I understand with Six Sense is that this was your own initiative, right? Like,
Hmm.
and it's very hard to coordinate amongst bigger companies. So
Yeah,
if there is a startup who actually wants to start social selling and do that, I think the Refine Labs does it really well,
it
right?
does. Yeah, I follow a
So
lot of people from Refine Labs.
yeah, Refine Labs. Then there
Lavender,
is one.
how can you forget Lavender? Like Lavender does
Yeah,
great social selling.
that's what I totally forgotten Lavender. Yeah, Lavender. Then there is one person called Neil who's building Page.io.
Page Neil Gandhi. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, Neil Gandhi. Yeah, he's also great. He doesn't sell the product. He only sells values and values specific things. So yeah, I think it's really easy to start if you're a very small team, and rather than doing that from a marketing perspective also it works crazy, and from
yeah,
a personal perspective also it's good. From a salesperson perspective you get some bonus points here and there. So
right.
nothing to lose, just we have to get out of that inertia.
Yeah,
So now
you just have to be like consistent with your efforts, like because it will take time. It will not come up like first day or second day or even first month. It will take
mm,
time, but it's worth the time, I feel.
yeah, I think for us it took more than 6 7 months to
Hmm.
actually get that going. It's like SEO. It'll
Yeah,
take
it's yeah,
time as in when you write
right,
more, do it consistently and all of that. So we'll just take
right.
questions now. So Kripali has asked how to find relatable communities.
Yeah, good question. Uh, it's not that tough, to be honest. Like, let's suppose if I today I'm going to selling cybersecurity product. Now I want to find prospects who are part of the cybersecurity communities, and I have no idea how to do that. Right. Firstly,
Hmm.
I'll go to my company SDS and say, "Hey, are you part of any communities that are related to cybersecurity? Or if you think our prospect will be there." Asking
Hmm.
my like my my company colleagues, going to any sales team who is selling, maybe selling in the same space, cybersecurity, connecting with them on LinkedIn and talking to them and asking them that can you refer me some communities of this sort. Like
Hmm.
you just have to go out and ask people, or you can
Hmm.
go on Google also and do a basic for me. This is something I've done when I wanted to learn about D2C industry, like like selling a SaaS tool to D2C industry, and I wanted to know how to so how to get into D2C communities. And this is the
Hmm.
process I did. Like I spoke to a lot of people selling to D2C, SaaS people, SaaS companies selling to D2C, and told them that, are you part of any communities? Can you send me the link? I want to join. So, or going on Google, finding D2C companies, and right now I'm part of 2 to 3 D2C communities like that. So it's like you go and ask people, because if you don't ask, the answer is no.
Yeah. Yeah, better to ask and get a no rather
Right.
than not ask at all. Cool.
Yeah.
So Anantu has asked, how can we improve the sales of a cybersecurity startup, especially cybersecurity services?
Uh, I have never sold to cybersecurity in this space, but I have coached people, SDS in this space, who have sell to cybersecurity. One thing I have seen that it's not a very easy space to sell to, because again they are not very open to cold calls. They are not, maybe they are open to cold emails. I'm not sure, but
Hmm.
how to sell, again, basic stuff for anyone in this whole planet. When you're selling, talk about them, think like talk about their pain points, lead with an observation or triggering events. Don't talk much about your product, your services. No one cares about it. Try to genuinely build a relationship or start a conversation, and go with a mindset to help you know uh, uh, the people who are into cybersecurity. How can you help their uh, uh, problems? And that's how you can start a conversation, and through those conversation, like, sales will happen.
Right, right, absolutely. Next, going to the other question, which tools do you use? I mean, I think he's asking from identification to closing a deal.
Uh, just to clear, I don't actively close deals. My job
He doesn't.
responsibility ends from like taking discovery and demos and then passing those opportunities to the account executive. So I'll tell you what tools I used on a day-to-day basis. CRM, Salesforce must for me. Sales engagement platform, Salesloft every day I use, and I use my platform, Six Sense Sales Intelligence platform to build deals, finding high priority accounts, high intent accounts. Like these three tools are like I use every day, like without any fail. Like I can't work without these three tools. Apart from that, I use a tool. Obviously, everyone knows Lavender for writing emails, helping me to write emails in a better way. I used to use it a lot in my initial days when I was writing emails. Now I kind of, after writing so many emails, I have those frameworks and know how to what to write. So yeah, right now I use Lavender, but not every day. Then apart from that, LinkedIn Sales Navigator, yes, LinkedIn Sales Navigator is a great tool. I feel it's a very underrated tool as well. Okay, apart from that, there's a new tool, and it's mostly helps me like to send a recap of my emails post demo. That the tool is called Align, and it's basically a buyer engagement, engagement or enablement tool that I actually use post demo to send them all the related stuff that we spoke in the demo, so that I can see who are these people that are interacting in my deal rooms, and I can prospect them after the demo happened. So yeah, that's a new tool, very interesting space also, deal rooms and digital sales rooms. Uh, okay, any other tools I use? I don't think so. For calling, maybe yeah, Oram. Oram, it's a new tool that I've been using. Prior to that, I used to use Salesloft Dialer.
Cool,
Yeah,
cool.
I think that's
There are
about
a
it.
lot of, yeah, that's all. Yeah. So the next question is from Pranay. How many cold emails do you send to each prospect?
To each prospect. Now this depends. Like there's no fixed
Yeah.
number to that. Let's suppose I'm sending three emails and I don't see any response, zero open rate, zero reply rate, no clicks. I'll move to another prospect, maybe from the same company to someone else, because I know this person is not seeing my email, not worth spending time on this prospect. I'll go to another prospect. But again, let's suppose another example. I see a prospect looking at my email 5 times but not responding. I sent him 4 emails. He has seen my emails couple of times but not responding. Then I'll try to understand why he or she is not responding, and my next email will be based on that. Maybe go to the LinkedIn, or maybe see something I can personalize at a very deeper level. Go to their about me section, see what is their interest, or maybe go to their account and see what's happening new in their account, in their company basically. So it will depend on how these prospects are interacting with my emails, and that will decide how many emails I'll send to them.
Hmm, got it. Cool. I hope it was very clear, Pranay. Next is how we can reduce the sales cycle for high ticket B2B deals.
I
I think
think
this is an account executive question,
yeah.
but maybe they can take it.
Yeah, one thing I can tell you what my account executive does really good is they actually are always on top of their deals. I worked with my account executive on a lot of accounts, on a lot of top accounts, and I see them working on high priority accounts, like multi-threading all the stakeholders on those accounts, being top of their deals, so that so that they focus in the right way. But yeah, I also don't have the right question. I'll have that after a few quarters
Few
maybe.
years. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So the next one is what could be a good opener on a cold call? I think he said that it changes, but maybe an example of what you use.
I'll give you the right answer here. So Divyam,
Yeah.
the good opener is an opener that you can nail it in a great way. It can be how are you doing XYZ, hey, this is a cold call. Do you have 30 seconds for me? Any cold call opener that you are confident you can nail it, you think that is the good opener.
Yeah. Yeah, got it. Cool. I think this this is a very basic answer that Dave gave. What have you used, Dave?
I use I use a lot of opener for. So when I was in Six Sense US shift, so Six Sense US market has a brand recognition and brand
Hmm.
name, right? At that time, what I used to use, like, hey prospect, this is Dave from Six Sense. Does Six Sense sounds familiar, or does Six Sense ring a bell? Now, if they say yes, thumbs up, my life is easy. They know Six Sense. If they say no, I'll say, okay, this is the reason I called you. And the reason I called you is because I see XYZ happening in your accounts. And then I start my call. So it's like
Hmm.
win-win for me, that opener. Now here at APAC, like Six Sense, they are developing their brand here, right? So my opener changes. Like when I call people and I tried with this, hey, this is Dave, the Six Sense ring a bell. And doesn't resonate with the Indian prospect, because we
Hmm.
don't speak something like does it ring a bell, all of the stuff, right? Like we are very like straightforward. So I started hey, the Six Sense sounds familiar to you, with very
Yeah.
basic stuff. Or maybe, hey, this is Dave from Six Sense. I know I called you in the middle of something. Can I tell you like why I called you? I promise to be brief to you. So it's like basic, like
Right.
I am using what is helping me to speak easily, speak clearly, and let that person understand what I'm saying. That is my opener.
Right. Right. Good. So the next question is for US dialing, how to bypass getting spam.
I
Do
feel
you know?
uh, I mean, it's a kind of technical question. So this is kind of taken care by my RevOps team. Like they take care of all those, tools and like to understand, our numbers doesn't get to spam. I did this one time that to see if my number is in spam or not. That I called someone from my US number. I called to my US friend. I told him, is this
Hmm.
number looking at spam? So this is what I did to see to check from my end, because I remember when I was cold calling, the I mean the conversion rate or the pickup rate is so low. I was thinking, is it like going, like, is it my numbers looking at spam or going out spam or something? But it was not like that. Like it was genuinely, the pickup rate was very less. But yeah, I did this thing. uh, for you, like I don't have a definite answer, Aman, but again, when you like the dialer that you're using, maybe have the right setups and all those stuff to make sure that your number doesn't go to spam.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So the next question is from Tejas. Could you tell me the percentage of time you allocate to different channels? Is it time or it is based on prospect, right?
Yeah, it's prospect. Like if my
Yeah,
prospect is in LinkedIn, I'll spend my time on LinkedIn. If my
yeah.
prospect, is like replying me on email, I'll go on email. Like unfortunately, it's not in my hand where I can
Control.
spend more time. It's mostly the prospect where he or she like is is more active basically.
Understood. Understood. Cool. Next is from Kripali. How to stay updated with all modern day cold calling and cold emailing techniques.
Follow
Be
me.
like Dave. Yeah, read up on good. Yeah, yeah. Take classes from Dave. That is the
So
thing. No, I think she's
on a
asking what
yeah,
what
yeah.
resources.
I'll tell you. On a serious note, Kripali, you can ping me. I can share a lot of resources with you. I
Yeah.
gather a lot of resources on cold calling, cold emails, LinkedIn, to keep myself updated. If you want, happy to share with you. Just ping me on LinkedIn.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Feel free to DM him right now. So
Right?
next, then we can go to the next question. Any specific day of the week to send LinkedIn connections or
No, no.
DM? No, I don't
I
think
don't
so.
even look at time. Also, whenever I feel right time, I just send it, because these are things.
Because
I Yeah, I feel
Kavira
these are
will
things we
like
should
him.
think. Yeah, I mean, for me, these things like time, doesn't matter a lot when you're sending DMs, because LinkedIn, again, it's a social media platform. It's not like email or cold call, right? The- Anyone can open their LinkedIn at the middle of the night also. So don't look LinkedIn like okay at 7 p.m. This time I'll send all the DMs. No, just when you feel the right time, just go and hit those DMs.
People who check their LinkedIn at at in the middle of the night should find more hobbies. I think it's both of us, right? Like I think I
Right.
also do that sometimes. But yeah,
I
what do
use
we
breathe on LinkedIn.
do? Cool. The next question is from Anshul. How do you keep your lead pipeline flowing with fresh leads? What is the conversion percentage that you have personally seen on an average across your career? Good question.
So the first question is keep prospecting, even though like you don't want your pipeline to go zero, right? So keep prospecting, like make sure you prospect every day. And as a SDR or BDR, like what else will you do? Like if you don't prospect, right? So prospect every day. The second question, very interesting. What is the conversion rate? It depends on industry. It depends on the people you sell to. To give you an example, I've sold to HR, sales, and marketing. When I was in
Hmm.
HR, selling to HR, it was that was my first job. I was very terrible. I was terrible with my cold call, emails, anything you name it. My conversion was, I would say, I should not say that also, but as I as I moved up and learned all the skills, uh, for sales marketing, my conversions have been improved like over these years. I don't have definite number to this question, but what I can say here is that if you see like 50% conversion rate in sales industry or selling to sales personnel, don't think that it will be same in all the personas, for all the personas. It can be different for marketing, it can be very different for data or IT or cyber security. So uh, I don't have a definite answer right now with a different number, but again, what how you can improve it, I can tell. It will depend what you're doing, how you're doing, and how you're improving day by day. Only then you can improve this conversion if it's less right now.
Right. Yeah, yeah. I think very, very precise. We have the last question from Chirag. We can take two more questions maybe after that.
Yeah.
But if there is nothing else, then this will be the last question. How do you hold conversations on LinkedIn for the Indian market? Any framework that you share? No framework. Everything should be spontaneous.
Exactly. No, like see, LinkedIn. So understand, LinkedIn is very different from emails. People go on LinkedIn for number of things. I am here right now on LinkedIn for this live session, right? Someone is on LinkedIn to post something. Someone is on LinkedIn to engage with their favorite creators. Someone is
Hmm.
there on LinkedIn to go and reply to their DMs. Now, to answer your question, Chirag, there's no definite framework because you can ask the interesting question to that prospect, but the prospect might be deviated to other things, like he or she is right now replying to any other DM or going to their favorite creator and sending a like commenting on their post. So it is I would say it is scattered. I would say it's very difficult to hold conversations on LinkedIn, and this is the reason your personal brand comes in. Because right now, if you see, I have made myself someone who is very resourceful for SDS and BDS. So
Yeah.
people will, when they go to my DM and talk to me, they know if I talk to Dave for at least 5, 6, 10 minutes, I'll pick something from this conversation. And that's how I try to hold them on
Hmm.
those DMs, because their attention is all over the place on the DM, right? So make sure that you're talking to someone, you have something to offer apart from you gain something like meeting book or meeting schedule, all those stuff. You can give something to that person. Right now, if I'm speaking to Priyanka, I make sure that Priyanka learns something from me. That is how it will be valuable for each of us, right? So that's how I do it, like building a personal brand, making myself resourceful for people for like SDS and BDS or SDR managers, has helped me to hold those conversation for any market, not only India market, for any market.
Got it, got it. That's good. Yeah, I think he's extremely right. Like when I first started talking to Dave, had he not been in, I mean, had he we would not have been partners with Six Sense, I would have bought Six Sense for
Yeah.
for me as well. Yeah,
Right.
but glad that we are partners. So I think we can take two three more questions quickly. What percentage of your sales conversation are consultative sales?
I feel this is the only way I sell because I like this way of approaching sales, like being consultative, not imposing my thoughts on the prospect, just having a conversation. I
So
feel like I'm a
100%.
consultant. Yeah, I feel yeah, 200%. I feel like
Yeah.
I'm a consultant. Whatever the problem they have, I give a solution to them, and in those solution, I also add my tool. And if they're interested to look at it, I am happy to show them the tool. So I feel like, as Priyanka said, 200%.
100%. Yeah. Daily, how many emails would be automated versus personalized slash hyper personalized by Cyan?
Hmm. Good question. A lot of people might disagree with me, might think that what is this guy doing? But I like personalized emails. It's very
Yeah.
few emails that I automate at my end. Again, this is because I know how many emails I want to send. This comes with like experience, but mostly I automate my follow-ups. But let's suppose if I'm writing my first cold email, I'll make sure that is a even not hyper personalized, but personalized on the account level. And if I'm sending,
Account level.
uh, yeah, sorry,
Yeah, account level is the key
yeah,
actually.
account
Yeah.
level, yeah. And I go to prospect level once I see a lot of engagement
Correct.
on the emails. Like I see like a lot of opens, maybe they have clicked, seen my video, all those stuff. Then see, okay, what is their interest and all those stuff, so that next email I can personalize on those things.
Yeah,
So
and
it will.
one more thing to add on the account. Sorry, I'm interrupting, but
No, no,
just to
please,
get
please.
the account
Yeah.
based marketer out of my brain. But yeah, another thing with prospecting and personalizing account based is that your load becomes less, like your cognitive load
Yes.
becomes less because you can use the same thing for different prospects from the same account. And if you start
Exactly.
doing personalization on an individual level, you'll get bored. So
Exactly.
account level
Too much.
personalization is also important. Yeah, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, you were saying something.
No, no, no. That's it. I even forgot what I was saying.
No worries, no worries. So, I think last question is, what tools and approach would you suggest for effective pre-sales discovery?
What like pre-sale discovery is basically like understanding like if the prospect is a good fit for us, right? Yeah, so I won't say tools, like I've already mentioned the tools. Approach maybe like uh, whenever I book a demo for any account, I try to we have certain criterias, like since we provide data, we need to see that the data is right or not. We need to see if they have, if there's an immediate need or there's something that exploring. All those like kind of a band qualification, but I don't do exactly like a band qualification because I mean, in a pre-discovery, talking about budget is nothing, doesn't make sense for me. So I don't talk about budget. But yeah, talking about like if the ICP, the people they're selling, we have the right kind of data for them. We have, if they this is something that the timeline is set or not,
Hmm.
and the person I'm booking is he or she a decision maker, champion, influence, whatever it is. So this kind of thing
Right.
will help my for me and my account executive to curate that demo for that person and that account and help to close the deals in the further. And also I would like to take that last question of
Yeah.
from Kripa.
Yeah. 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 Does
Does
using Chat GPT for cold email messaging affect the response rate? Does it?
Yeah, it does affect a lot if you just
Yeah.
use ChatGPT and
Copy
copy
paste.
paste your emails. I
Yeah.
mean, I feel I have a strong opinion in this. Use AI. Please use AI. Absolutely.
Hmm.
It's a need of the hour. People who will not use AI will be, falling back. But use AI when you know that you can judge the email. Let's suppose if I've not written any cold email in my whole life, so I don't know at what bar I can judge the cold email of ChatGPT. For me, that cold email from ChatGPT will be the best email, right?
Hmm.
So I would say go and write some cold emails, and do that work. You then only you will know what a good cold email looks like. And then when you use ChatGPT, you can judge those emails. Like if you go to ChatGPT right now, like maybe even if giving with all the right prompts and all the stuff, the output that you'll get from ChatGPT is still not at par with, with all the people, with all the tools that are there that are helping us to write good cold emails. So for me, I don't use ChatGPT to write cold emails. And if you want to use ChatGPT, I would suggest first you and go and write those cold emails, send some
Yeah.
cold emails, get some replies, and then go to ChatGPT for more ideas, more different ways to write cold emails.
Right, right, absolutely. I think with ChatGPT, I think ChatGPT does a great thing to solidify and refine your idea. Right, it won't
Exactly.
give you an original thought ever, because at the end of
No.
the day it's programmed, right? So,
Right.
but what creativity you will get as a human, I think that is very different. But for for refinement and all, you can use, right? But one more thing I've observed everywhere is that if you see a word unleash, uncover, or something like that, it's definitely written by chat gpt
These are also,
100%.
these are also spam words. Right? There is a
Yeah,
tool which
yeah,
can help
absolutely.
you to find what are spam words. Like tools like Uncover, Unleash. These words have been used multiple times, and now ChatGPT
Yeah.
use these words because it is taking data from the outside world, and from the outside world we know that these words have been used a lot of times. So it gives those words in
Right.
their
It's
email.
fed into the system.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's one thing. I mean, it's good to refine, and it's good to get pointers like all of that. But no, don't rely on ChatGPT for
Thank you for the
original
wisdom.
ideas at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way. Yeah, US based best tool for lead gen.
How
You're
can I
asking
not
us.
promote?
You're asking
How
a
can
lead gen software salesperson. Yeah,
how can I not
yeah. I think
promote Six Sense here?
six. No, no. I think
Aman, you
I
should
think
DM
it's
me for
definitely.
6 cents. I'm kidding. No. So I'll tell you, for US market best lead generation tool. I mean, you should see there are a lot of lead generation tool for your knowledge, and everyone will say that we'll have great accurate data, we'll have this that, but what will set apart is basically their customer stories, what customers that they have worked with, what kind of their result they have bought. And apart from that, you go and see the tool, you maybe trial it, you maybe have a live data test. These are the things that will help you to actually judge the tool better. You can DM me.
Yeah. Yeah, after this you can like text Dave. But no, I think on a serious note, Six Sense is one of the
Yeah.
best sales, I mean, lead generation tools.
Yeah, so it was
In
Slintel earlier, which has been
Yeah,
renamed to Six Sense Revenue AI. So the
correct.
Slintel tool has been modified.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's correct. Actually, like we were not joking. So, the best tool is Six Sense. So cool. I think we have no more questions. Our
Awesome.
question of the session was bigger than our talking session. So thanks, Dave, for joining in, and thank you everyone
thank,
who tuned in today. It was
Thank you
great. A
so much.
lot of participation, and thankfully LinkedIn did not show any tantrums this time.
Yeah.
Last two lives, I couldn't see the comments, and a lot of things
Okay.
happened and I had to do that. So yeah, uh, cool. We'll wrap up then. Hope we'll make part two of this sometime
Absolutely.
soon. It was a great session, Dave. Thanks for bringing me
Thank you.
so many engagement.
Thank Thank you so much, Priyanka.
Divyam is asking one thing. Miss the tool you mentioned to check spam words.
I don't
Uh,
remember right now. I'll DM you. You
yeah,
DM me. I'll send you the tool.
yeah, yeah. Cool, cool. Thanks, Dave. Thank
Yeah.
you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.